This is the story of Bobi, a dog who was abandoned simply because of his smell. What this blind, neglected dog did afterward left everyone amazed. Jean had handled many rescue cases before, dogs that were sick, abandoned, or frightened. Very little surprised her anymore. But when she heard about an old blind dog wandering alone, something didn't feel right. Animal control kept insisting, "This dog isn't a stray." That detail stayed with her because she understood what it usually implied. The dog had been found moving aimlessly, bumping into objects. He seemed confused, not aggressive, just lost. His body looked exhausted, as if life had taken too much from him. And then there was the odor, so strong people noticed it from a distance. It led to the quiet conclusion that someone had likely given up on him. Animal control went door to door, hoping someone would recognize him. No one did. No one even asked. The silence spoke volumes. It was as if he had been erased from someone's life overnight. Jean didn't hesitate. The next day, she went to pick him up. Seeing him there, fragile and uncertain, broke her heart. She gently reassured him that he was safe. He didn't respond, but he stayed still, as if he understood. She named him Bobo and took him home. It quickly became clear how serious his condition was. His fur was thin, his body weak, and his breath was overpowering, strong enough to fill an entire room. Still, she was determined to help him recover. Because of the small space, he had to stay isolated at first. The smell and the situation made things difficult, but she persisted. Then came another challenge. He couldn't control his bladder. Accidents happened constantly. It made everything more exhausting and messy, but she never blamed him. At the vet, the full picture emerged. He had a bladder stone about the size of a coin and had likely been in pain for a long time. Jean faced a difficult decision and even considered euthanasia. But when she looked at him, weak yet still holding on, she chose to give him a chance, knowing she wouldn't let him suffer if things didn't improve. The surgery was extensive. 21 of his teeth had to be removed due to severe decay, and the bladder stone was successfully taken out. Recovery was slow, but gradual improvements followed. For the first time in a long while, he wasn't living in constant pain. A few days later, she took him outside. He didn't show excitement or affection, but he walked forward, and that was enough. Bobo was completely blind. He couldn't see anything at all. Still, Jean would leave lights on when she left a room, not because he needed them, but because it felt comforting. His personality was unusual. He didn't seek attention or show affection. Instead, he stuck to his own routines and reacted strongly to certain sounds. Initially, he was considered for adoption, but it soon became clear that his needs were too great. Jean decided to keep him. It just felt right. Some people called him ugly, but she never saw him that way. To her, he was unique, someone worth saving. He never returned her affection, not even once. But she loved him anyway. Because sometimes, love isn't about what you receive. It's about choosing not to abandon someone who has already been left behind. Our team puts in a great deal of effort behind the scenes to discover and share real-life stories that genuinely matter. Every video is thoughtfully created, carefully researched, edited using reliable sources, and handled with the respect each story deserves. What you see isn't just designed to inspire. It's created to be authentic, impactful, and meaningful.